worldwide are on life support as the great dumpening continues. But is the real reason why actually so hard to believe? You simply won't believe it. Over the last couple of days, Bitcoin has absolutely initiated a continued dump episode. But the big question is, with the new Bitcoin spot ETFs approved, why is the price not pumping as many expect? And can we expect a bigger dumpulation than the biggest thing you could ever imagine? So if you love pumping, but also understand that getting dumped on is actually even better, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and without any further ado, let's absolutely dump in. So as we all know, the price of Bitcoin, last time I made a video, I highlighted the bearish divergence a couple days ago. I currently am still sick. I'm sure you can potentially hear that in my voice. In fact, I can't even hear out of my left ear. Pretty impressive. But like last time I made a video, I talked about this bearish divergence. Here we are a couple days later, and absolutely we have initiated a further dumpulation, bringing us all the way to the prices of about the beginning of December of 2023. So setting us back nearly 2 months of price gainage. And in fact, altcoins have also taken a little itsy bitsy tumble. Now, before we continue with the charts, I want to highlight many things and kind of talk about the question, well, why are we dumping? With these Bitcoin spot ETFs approved, I thought we were going straight to the moon, you might be asking, right? Well, first off, let's take a look here. So Bloomberg analysts say the Bitcoin ETFs have had a successful launch. BlackRock says it's been a success by every measure, more funds coming in than GBTC has lost, which is over $1 billion, and it's likely that zero GBTC outflows have been reinvested into Bitcoin ETFs because of the wash trade rule. That means over $4 billion of new money has entered Bitcoin in the last 7 days. After 30 days, some of the GBTC outflow may come back into Bitcoin ETFs. This is bullish. However, Adam Back also responds to this, saying the part saying likely zero GBTC outflows has been reinvested because of the wash trade rule. Some are invested, he says, through tax efficient structures that they are not subject to this wash trading rule. But for direct investors, yes, he's saying that is correct. Documenting Bitcoin, pointing out this, that BlackRock's head of ETFs, Rachel Aguirre, saying, we have seen a groundswell of Bitcoin interest. It has traded $3.5 billion since its launch. Investors are on a journey to understand it. So about a week and a half into Bitcoin spot ETF trading, what has happened? So bad news is that Grayscale dumped a ton and is continuing to dump a ton of Bitcoin. For the 8th day in a row, GBTC transferred an additional almost 20,000 Bitcoin to Coinbase. However, the good news is the majority of the sell-off involved FTX, which has now completed its sales, offloading around 2.5 million shares daily for the past 8 days. Keep in mind, guys, so much selling has been going on from GBTC that it's actually crazy Bitcoin is, still at the price that it is. Additional positive news, despite the GBTC sell-off, there's been a net inflow of over $1 billion, equivalent to about almost 30,000 Bitcoin today. Growth observed in the FBTC Fidelity Bitcoin Fund faster than BlackRock. And with 9 Bitcoin ETFs amassing over 100,000 Bitcoin in just a week of trading, this is absolutely insane. Sailor spent 3 years accumulating almost 200,000 Bitcoin. But in just 7 days, over 100,000 have been gobbled up because of these ETFs. Bitcoin therapists just saying, don't underestimate the power of the incumbent financial class. They want you to part ways with your Bitcoin. We're not flipping, selling, right? Or at least a lot of people are not. And also, before we jump into the charts, Mags is Scalping Pro highlighting exactly what so many people are interested in, which is the altcoins. And guys, I can say with 100% confidence, we have not seen anything close to an alt season at all yet of the entire last 2 years. Nothing at all. Since this bear market began really at the end of 2021, altcoin season has not even peeked its head. Altcoins have broken out after about 550 days of bear market consolidation. Price is experiencing its first pullback and is still trading above the point of breakout. Basically, this chart highlighting that over the next couple of months, we are going to see the beginning of altcoin season. Now, looking first at the SPX, the S&P 500, after putting in a new all-time high recently, the SPX is, for the past 2 days, just kind of trading sideways a little bit. With Bitcoin getting a nice dumpulation, the DXY is still also kind of trading sideways at resistance. But overall, overall, no substantial moves out of Bitcoin just yet. As I've been saying, when we broke down out of this support, I personally mentioned in my last update that, you know, if we come back to 30,000, one, I would not be surprised, but I think a lot of people would be, considering the fact that for the past couple of weeks, I was saying that, you know, expect $37,000 to $38,000 per Bitcoin. And so many people were saying, no, it's impossible. We're never going below 40K again. Well, now we are below 40K. And basically, you know, only $1,000 away from 38,000, although I think we even did go to 38. Yeah, the high 38,000s just, you know, hours ago. But now I think people are maybe waking up to the fact, oh yeah, maybe we could actually get a pullback to 30,000, which would not even be bearish. It would be, for the very first time, retesting this resistance, previous resistance, to validate to see if it can be future support, to see if it can be support. Resistance to support flips are so absolutely critical for the beginnings of bull markets. Now, with that being said, we look on like longer time frames for Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, still it looks like the beginning of a more, you know, multi-week downtrend. It still very much looks like that. Look on the 5-day chart or the weekly chart for Bitcoin, MACD, RSI, all of these indicators are kind of showing us the same thing here. But realistically, guys, even though we're in that transition from bear to bull, the real bull market gains have not even come close to starting yet. And that's why I keep talking about this chart, where this box, similar to the other bull markets, should vary, you know, basically the exact same amount of days too, should very accurately be able to predict kind of like roughly how much time we can expect this bull market to have. And really, I really want to highlight this. Always, after the Bitcoin halving, price doesn't literally immediately pump. You know, it usually takes sometimes even a couple of months. And so we have to basically expect, this is my opinion, I think the real gains are going to be starting in the summer of 2024, which means I still think we have another 3 to 5 months minimum before we start seeing crazy gains, before we start seeing altcoins not be down 70, 80% from their all-time highs, right? So with that being said, the window is now shorter than ever. You have a couple more months, in my opinion. But this, to me, looks like the beginning of the last big pullback before the halving and before the bull run actually starts. This was a teaser. And I've been saying this, most people also agree with this. This has been a teaser to the actual bull market, but it's still way too early to expect we're going to be hitting new all-time highs, or especially altcoins getting anywhere near all-time highs. Absolutely not. But with that being said, the gains are closer than ever. But really, I think that also, once we start seeing some of this massive sell pressure be relieved off the market, I truly do think the long-term impact of the Bitcoin spot ETFs, almost a dozen of them, will absolutely blow the inflows out of the water in terms of people getting into Bitcoin. I think this on-ramp is huge. I think it's very muted right now, and I think it's being underplayed, and I think a lot of people are, because it didn't pump right away, a lot of people are thinking it's a big nothing event. But I truly, absolutely, as a lot of educated people in the space have been saying, that this is going to be, over the next few months, and especially even longer term, the amount of capital that is likely to flow into Bitcoin, specifically even just because of the ETFs, will be outrageous. And that's not even accounting for the halving and all of the other bullish catalysts that are likely very close for Bitcoin. And sign up with Femex in my description below. It takes 30 seconds to sign up if you're interested in buying Bitcoin, altcoins, or trading. And with that, you're from the that's it for me.